Hey guys, Ron here once again. On this episode of Matching the Execution, I just wanted to share one of yesterday's trades. Yesterday was a great day in the morning. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay the entire day because I had to go do some of this and some of this. But I still wanted to share it with you guys how this trade took about. And I've shared the strategy before. Again, once again, box it in and take the trade without hesitation. When you see something that you can't be denied, you just have to take your trades, guys. So this is the setup yesterday. This is what I had pointed out. 9:31. I had pointed out to everyone, hey, I'm keeping an eye on Walmart. This one was for puts as opposed to calls. Apple and Nvidia. These were for calls. Nvidia today and tick above 1K. So this is a 931. This is what I was looking at. So the tick opened over 1,000, which to me signifies significant buying pressure for the day, right? So good sign for an update, being that the tick is up over 1,000. I had been asked if I was looking at puts. I said no for calls. It broke the resistance when it gapped up. So what I was talking about was Nvidia. If you remember the video I created the day before, Nvidia had actually created a doji, and I had pointed out that it was at resistance from pretty much forming a double top, and it was a potential play for the following day, which was yesterday. And I said, hey, this may be a good play to the downside, but if I'm not comfortable because of where the selling volume was for the day, it was under 50. I was like, maybe I'll wait for the next morning and see where it opens. And when it did open, it opened above here. It gapped open above that resistance level at over 185. So that was a no-brainer. That was check mark number one. One, it opened above that resistance, so it's giving me a strong sense of, hey, we may be going higher. The tick is above 1,000. And what else do we have? When it opened, it had a nice formation, and you'll see here shortly, for you to be able to box it in pretty clearly. But overall, this was the next thing that I said here. If it breaks a box higher, I will take it long. Divergence between the S&P and the E-minis again at the open. And what I was noticing here was that the E-minis were going down while the S&P was going up on the first 10-minute candle. It was a little weird, but I always like to pay attention to that because I want to see who's going to end up being the winner, and I keep track of those. So how often does this happen? And when that happens, who wins? Which direction do we ultimately end up going? Yesterday, the S&P won. We ended up going higher for the first part of the day, and then in the afternoon, I wasn't around, but I missed that. But yeah, we ended up coming down hard the rest of the day. All right, Nvidia has lots of volume today, over 27%, 27,000% above average on the 10-minute. That was the key factor for me yesterday. To see that much volume coming in on the first 10-minute candle. And look at the time here, 9:34. I had already taken the trade at 9:33 because of that. I mean, at 27,000% above average, that's an insane amount of volume, which indicates to me, hey man, this thing wants to go up. So I took it before, as soon as it broke the box, it slightly dipped back in, but there was so much volume, and most of that volume, if not all of it, was on the buying side, and I'll show you guys here shortly. So I took it long, and then I was taking a look at Apple, which I also did get into afterwards. So then I pointed out Nvidia today is one of those trades we want. Too easy. We are right from the beginning. And then I also pointed out that I took Apple and SPY when I hit the pivot. So here's the result, guys. And at the end of the day, what we want to focus on here is the return here. It's an 80% return, guys, on this trade. Took the trade at 9:33, exited at 10:51, and I'll show you why I exited. Apart from me that I was gonna be leaving, but I was like, you know what? Because I could have held a couple more, but this is what I decided to do. So we entered here at 299, and then we got out at 537. Right. So let's go take a look at this. So first, I want to point out the volume part that I was talking about. This is what I was looking at, guys. When the Nvidia opened, the current bar volume on the 10-minute chart right here was insane. It was over, then you look at the percentage right next to it. So you look at the volume and the percentage next to it. this percentage was over 27,000% above. And that to me was the key, and hardly no selling volume basically. So that's what I was looking at. That's what got my eye saying, hey, look at it right here. See this? This is the first 10 minute right here. All of it was pretty much buying volume, and all of it was over 27,000% above the average volume for the 10 minute chart. So I was like, you know what? I got to take this long. So as soon as it broke the high here, as soon as it broke the high, I said, okay, let me go ahead and take this long. It dipped a little bit below it right as soon as I got in, but I got in. I got a really good entry. I didn't want to overpay for it, and I normally, if it's low volume, yeah, you could have built a good case to wait for it to break the pivot. But in this case, it was just too much volume to ignore. I didn't want to overpay for it. I wanted to get the best price possible. So I took the position long here. As you can see here, this is the 30 minute. Same thing. So look at the volume here, and look at the volume on the 10 minute. Okay, so obviously the selling volume on the 30 minute came in on the last 10 minutes of that time frame. So 30, 40, 50. So you see this candle here. This is where this selling volume came in for the 30 minute candle. So basically I rolled this up, and as I showed you guys on the plan before, you normally would just follow it up, follow your stop up on the 30 minute candles. So I technically would have been stopped out at on the 1210 candle right here. So which essentially is exactly where I got out anyway. So it worked out perfectly. So this is what happened. So as I'm writing it up on the 10 minutes, when 1040 came around, this is the pattern that it formed. And I've mentioned to you guys before, 1040 is a key time frame for me. If the market is going to decide to turn around, it may do so at that time. And it started forming this pattern, and then this is what the pattern that it formed on 1050. So it's like, okay, now we got a lower high and a lower low. I was like, you know what, let me take it. That was my initial target anyway, 190, followed by 196. But since I had to go for the day, I didn't want to take any chances, so I took the profit there and called it a day. Again, we would have been stopped out here when it hit the 302. I mean, 190.02 here. It was like 190.02. Once it broke and slash closed below it, which is on this candle here, I would have been stopped out anyway, which is pretty much where I got out. But by this time, even though I'm in the money, my contracts may not be worth as much because of time decay. Even though it's still the same day, it's not going to be much. The difference is going to be barely noticeable on a Tuesday. But that is something to keep in mind, unless you're planning to keep these long term. But that's pretty much it, guys. That was the trade for yesterday. It was a great trade. Hope you guys had similar results. Let's look for having a great trading day today, and I'll see you guys next time.